Hey everyone, I'm Todd Wayne, and filling in for Courtney Lynn today is Carrie.
Hello.
Thank you for tuning in for another episode of Paranormally Podcast, your home to all things paranormal and supernatural. Coming up on this episode of Paranormally, if you've had a spiritual awakening or maybe you've been down on your luck, perhaps you'd like to gain understanding of why certain things have happened or are happening in your life. Do you want to further your spiritual development or need help moving into a spiritual alignment with your soul's highest path and purpose? Then this episode's for you. Join me as we'll be talking to Clare Hardy, who is a soul realignment practitioner, and she's helped clients from all around the world by utilizing her gifts and her skills remotely. So please tune in as she talks about what it is she does and shares some of her stories. So grab yourself a drink and a snack, turn the lights off on the way back, find yourself a nice comfy spot, and enjoy this episode of Paranormally. Stay with us. All right, Claire, can you hear me good now?
I can.
All right, awesome. So how are you again tonight?
I'm very good, thank you. How are you both?
We are doing fine.
Very well, thank you.
All right. Now, go ahead and share us some of what it is that you do and how you do it.
So I started as a soul realignment practitioner in November 2020. After working in finance for 20 years, I felt like I needed a change. I got into spirituality probably 2018 after a tarot card reading, which opened my mind to all things spiritual. So reading law of attraction, having medium readings, lots of different healings. And I wanted to do something like this, something that could help people, wanted more from life. So I tried a few different things before soul realignment popped up on Facebook advert, actually. And so after studying it and practicing with friends and family, I saw the impact that those readings had and decided to take it forward. So since then, I've probably done around 100 readings for clients and friends and family. Saw the transformation value. So yeah, stick with it. And I plan to move to do this full time at some point this year.
So what made you get a tarot reading?
So I bought a house in 2018 and everything just kind of felt like it was divine timing kind of thing. And I think an advert popped up somewhere for a local lady. So I went to see her and everything she said was spot on. Things that were going to happen in the future. She talked about my past, talked about people close to me. And she said that you're bored in your job. You need more. And that I'd been a witch before, been a white witch in my past lives. And I had a gift that I should use. I'm like, I don't even know what gift that is. So went on a bit of a soul searching, trying to find something that felt right to me, that I could help people with.
And now this was, how long ago was that you had the tarot reading?
That was June 2018.
So you was definitely looking to
looking for something, but not quite sure what.
Right.
20 years in finance, you're like, I don't know what my other skills are. What could I do? What do I enjoy? So yeah, so a few years of trying different things, having different readings with people, and then stumbled upon this course, which blew my mind.
Sounds like it. So you're actually helping people get on the right track.
Yeah, so people come to me for a lot of different reasons. So some have paranormal experiences, some have issues with sleeping, some anxiety, sometimes health issues. Some things can be brought on and can impact our health. Certain thought patterns, a feeling that something's not right, stuck, not being able to move forward, not being able to get the goals that they're after. So yeah, a lot of different reasons that someone would come to me.
Sounds like you're explaining me.
It is extremely powerful. Every reading I do still blows my mind, like how accurate they are. And just hearing the client talk about their present life experience, and it just mirrors their past lives. Sometimes it can be slightly different, but it's very, very similar. Because we're not conscious of who we are at soul level, we make certain negative choices over and over again. I know when I did my reading for the first time, I had been repeating the same patterns for over 20 lifetimes, which is probably the longest repeat going on. So I topped that. But yeah, some clients repeat the same patterns like 7, 10 lifetimes.
Okay, then is that considered normal? Is that on our pathway of learning of who we were?
Yeah.
So you're not trying to
evolution.
You're not trying to stop that from happening. No, you're just trying to guide them.
Guide them to understand who they are. So it's not until you understand, conscious of who you are, what is good and what is bad for you, not what society tells you is good and bad for you.
Exactly.
Because if we follow society, then some of us are going to get it wrong, and that's where the problems come from. So we're all very different. And it's understanding what our skills are, what our gifts are, and how we can use them, and what situations we also need to look out for and avoid.
And how do you get that? How do you get with your clients? Are you doing this all virtually and just asking them questions, or how are you reaching into them?
So I get basic information from my clients, so their name, date of birth, and place of birth, and then I prepare the reading in advance of a session. So I access their soul's energetic database. So I have to get their name and date of birth to make sure that I'm accessing the right person, especially if there's more than one soul with the same name. So just to make sure that it's the right record. And then I have a set list of questions that I ask to get very specific information. So it's information that's going to create a transformation.
Are your guides helping you with this, or is this something that you're getting on your own?
So I had an attunement as part of my training, and my guide team do help me. Yeah, so
I was always
when I first.
I've always been interested in finding my guides and learning how to reach out to my guides.
I do a reading on guides, so I channel messages from guides, and I also find out what their gifts are, what they're here to help you with. So we have a team of around 4 to 6 spirit guides.
Oh, wow.
One we're born with, our birth to death guide, and then as children, when we start making choices for ourselves, then our higher self would hire guides. And we pick them up gradually throughout our childhood. And they're there to guide you, to give you signs. Some people hear them. Some people get messages from them. They have a way of impulsing you. So some guides might put a song in your head. So if you find you have a random song playing in your head, pay attention to the lyrics. It might be a message.
And these guides aren't necessarily someone we know. They're not like a guardian angel. They can be anybody. Yeah.
So this is their soul purpose. So our soul purpose come here and to evolve, to learn, whereas they're studying karma. So basically, to be a human, it's about karma. So your choices and your consequence. So everything in life is karma. Whatever action you take has got a reaction.
Right.
So people think of karma as something bad happening to you if you've done bad, or something good happening. It's constant. Karma's always playing out. So these spirit guides are studying karma. So they'll study your choices and consequence and help guide you in different directions, help you achieve what it is that you're looking to do in your life.
I've been through so much. My spirit guides are probably really mad.
He got them lost.
They've learned a lot.
Very, very interesting. So tell me a little bit more about your medium abilities, how you can connect with past loved ones?
So I'm not trained as a medium. So I can connect with spirit guides. I channel those messages, but that's through my guides. I haven't gone down the road of mediumship. That's a
special gift, I'm guessing.
So there is something that our souls have. So we have our soul gift, our soul energy, the makeup of us. We also have our soul characteristics. I don't know if you've heard the term starseed.
Yes.
So our soul, when a soul is created by God, by Source, it has to incarnate somewhere for the first time. So our soul has a vibration when it's created, and that determines where we can go. Everything in life is a vibration, an energy. So we have to go somewhere, incarnate somewhere for the first time that is a match to our soul's energy. And that's, it could be any planet. So I don't think I've come across a single client that first place of incarnation was at planet Earth.
Really?
So we lots of starseeds. A lot of us incarnate on other planets. Our soul is incarnated around the solar system, around the universe, parallel universes. But then there's also some skill sets that our soul picks up. Because we incarnate hundreds, thousands of times on planet Earth, then we pick up these skill sets. And I've done quite a few readings for mediums, and they all tend to have the same skill set. And this is around the transition, so transitioning in and out of the body. And every medium that I've done a reading for has this skill set. So a fascination with birth and death and life transitions. And even a friend of mine has this, and he's very in tune. He can hear things and see things, although mediumship is not somewhere he wants to be.
Mm-hmm. Very interesting.
So what's the meaning behind the brand?
The green light.
Like I'm on your website right now.
The shell.
Yes.
So I found that in my local woods. I was walking my dog. I don't live anywhere near the sea. And I found this shell and took it home. And then I showed it to someone. They was like, "You do realize the meaning of that?" And I was like, "No." So I looked it up. So the scallop shell, it has quite a spiritual meaning. So the lines that go from the outside into the center, it represents the different journeys that we can take, whether that's spiritual, religion, and it's all about going within. So religion is it's all about learning who you are, connecting with yourself, your true self. So they're all the different roads. So I thought it was very appropriate for the work that I do.
I got another question here I just thought of. Back to the spiritual awakening. How do we know if we have had one?
So it's when you start seeing things for what they really are. The veil has been lifted. So it's understanding that you are a soul in a human experience, not a human. So you know that you understand that you're responsible for your experience. So the law of attraction, so your actions create a consequence. So you are responsible for your reality. So there's various levels of awakening. So people that have no idea of that they're a soul in a human experience, or that there's life after death, any of that stuff, then they're just vibrating at the fourth dimension. So this is just the level of their mind. They're not aware of themselves above the level of their mind.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's once you start having an awakening, your soul starts vibrating in the fifth dimension. So we have various levels that our soul shifts through the fifth dimension. And this is really just about understanding who you are, understanding the spiritual world, that you can manifest anything you want. It's just learning how to do that, and to be in tune with who you are and living out your divine self-expression. But then there are even higher states of consciousness. So that's sixth dimension, seventh dimension.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, the sixth dimension is where you are fully expressing who you are in every aspect of your life. And this is where it's called states of being. So you manifest everything you ever desire, really easy. Life's a breeze. Fifth dimension is like a lot of learning, a lot of experiences, a lot of doing, a lot of change in your life.
So the majority of us are in the fourth dimension.
Yeah, those that are not spiritually aware are in the fourth.
Mm-hmm.
And then we can get stuck at so it goes from 5.0 to 5.9 is fifth dimension. So a lot of people can get stuck at 5.9 for 10, 20 years.
Wow.
Because they do all the spiritual knowledge, all the studying, but they don't put it into practice. So you can't change your world just by thought alone.
Mm-hmm.
You need to actually put action in place.
Mm-hmm. So do you do these spiritual awakenings online? Do you do them live? Is it something private?
So they're individual with my client. So once I have my client's basic information, I would prepare the reading, and then we would have a session on the phone or on a Zoom call and go through it. So it's one-on-one sessions.
Mm-hmm. So you need the information beforehand.
Yeah. I need to there has been instances where someone's been adopted and I've needed to get the birth name as well as the adopted name, because I have to confirm when I'm accessing these records that I have the right person, that there's no issues with me locating that soul.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why the information is needed.
And I see you do this also for children. You can read them as well.
I have done some quite powerful readings for children recently. So, excuse me, have a drink. A client that I've worked with quite a while, I've done readings for her 2 children and her son's reading. So I delivered it to her in the evening. And the next night she sent me a voice recording saying, "Oh my God, you're not going to believe it. I just put him to bed and he says that he doesn't feel scared anymore and he doesn't know why. He's been scared going to bed at night. He actually had a disruptive soul attached to him, which would have caused a lot of confusion, a lot of disruptive energy, but also children are quite susceptible to seeing and hearing things. So he was scared by that. And she said that he's the calmest he's been in the 7 years he's been alive. So it blew my mind that the transformation can happen overnight like that.
Well, now, is it from a spirit attachment? Is that what you mean?
Yeah, he had an attachment. Yeah, so he had an attachment. So souls that don't cross over, your ghosts. So these are where someone's had a traumatic death. They have an attachment to something in their life, their family, their property. They don't want to leave. So that's when they hang around. So once a soul first passes and doesn't cross over, then it would need to attach to a loved one. So a family member, a friend, because they need energy from a soul to stay. They need this vital force energy. But over time, over decades, hundreds of years, then these souls can learn to draw energy from their environment and they can move around. And then they can also be disruptive. So disruptive souls are souls that have learned to move energy. So they can turn the TV on, they can make noises, they can push things, they can create sound, create shadows. So all of that paranormal stuff is what a disruptive soul would create.
So disruptive soul would be different than like a poltergeist, correct?
Yeah, I don't know much about poltergeist, but yeah, not the same thing.
A poltergeist is basically something that we create with negative energy.
Yeah. Interesting.
So
yeah, no, I haven't come across a poltergeist before.
okay, I didn't mean to.
Not yet.
I didn't mean to stump you on that one. Now, tell me about property realignment. What is that?
So every soul has an Akashic record, but also property does as well. So I tap into this and just check what negative influences are affecting a property. So we move into a house that we have an energetic match to. So you go in a place and it's not you. You don't feel it. You're not somewhere that you want to be. So it's because it's not a match to your energy. So we can move in a property and there can be a lot of negative energy hanging from the past inhabitants. So there can be thought forms. So if someone in a house is having a lot of negative thoughts, got a lot of bad things going on in their life, then this energy can stay within the house. There can also be souls that attach to the property. And I've seen 53 attached to one, I think is the highest. So creating a lot of energy, a lot of negative energy in the house, a lot of disruption.
So do you find out like the history of the land that the house is on?
So yeah, there is one thing that I do check. So I check whether the land was energetically assigned. So whether it was assigned a sacred site. So if your house is built on land that was a sacred site, it may make you feel like you're a stranger in your own home, like you shouldn't be there, like someone's watching you, just feel a bit strange because there would have been lots of visitors to that site. So the land holds that energy.
So that could be like Indian burial, or it could be anything, really.
Yeah, but there's also burial grounds that I check for and battlefields. So my property is built on battlefields. There's a castle in the next village to me. And when land is energetically a battlefield, it creates a lot of tension. And I have noticed that since moving here about 3.5 years ago, that there has been quite a lot of couples that have broken up and moved out, at least 10 to 15 houses. And a lot of my friends that live, my neighbours, have had paranormal activity within their house. A room that's really cold, seeing shadows, hearing voices, doors slamming, things moving.
So where are you sending that energy then?
Back to source. So if a soul is stuck here, then I cross it over. So it goes back to the spiritual realm so that it can move on to its next incarnation, wherever that may be.
And it's not going to come back?
No. Not without a body. So yeah, it goes back to the spiritual realm where the next incarnation is decided.
Now, explain a little bit more about the spirit guide profile reading that you offer.
So I would, first of all, we can have negative spirit guides. So I check for these. So as children, if we're dealing with a certain situation that's negative, that we need help with, we can also hire these guides to help us uphold a coping mechanism. So if you're at school and you're bullied, we can hire a guide to help us with that situation. So first of all, I would check if there's any negative ones. They're negative not because they're causing you any harm, but all they're doing is upholding that coping mechanism, so they're not guiding you on your path. So we would reassign a new guide to make sure that they're all helping you to move forward and evolve. And then I check what each of your guides, who they are, if they have a name, if they identify as anything, whether that's a certain color, an appearance, a name. So any information they want to give me. I also check what their gifts are. So if you have a team of five spirit guides and they all have a general theme, that's really what they're here to help you. So our path in life is not determined. We have free will. We can choose it. which way we go. We completely change our direction. So there is kind of a general path that we have laid out for ourselves before we incarnate. So really finding out who they are, what their gifts are, also any messages that they have for you. So there have been some quite powerful messages that I've channeled from people's spirit guides, things that they just needed to hear right at that moment in time.
So how is that different from, say, life situation readings?
So soul realignment is about your soul's history. So looking at what past negative karmic patterns you're involved in, what's having an impact on you today. Also things that you've created in this present lifetime. So if you are having a negative thought over and over and over and over again, this can end up residing in your mental body. So we can hold on to this for years, for decades. So things like that I look at. So a soul realignment is really about transformation, knowing who you are and how you can transform. Whereas spirit guide reading is more understanding who's on your team, how they impulse you. So we're able to find out what their sign is when they want you to listen. So some people get a high pitch ringing in their ears, songs in their head. They might get a twitch or something. Lots of different ways that they try to get your attention. But a lot of people are not tuned into this because we've grown up with them. So we don't pay any attention.
So what?
So
go ahead.
So yeah, it's just understanding who's on your team, what gifts they bring, what knowledge, what experience they bring to the team, and what they want you to hear.
So now, going to the next one here, you have the life lessons reading. Now, what is that one?
So our souls have a tendency to make the same negative choices over and over again throughout our lifetime, and this becomes part of our soul's makeup, our soul blueprint. So a life lesson is taken on by our soul, but it's more for the level of our ego, so for our human to work on. So your life lesson is going to bring into your experience throughout your life and over multiple incarnations situations with a certain energy. And it's really learning how to work with that and embrace it. So it could appear as a small issue, something small within your family life that you need to work on and learn how to really live that without the negative. So it's understanding what those lessons are and to pay attention when they come up. That's really going to help you evolve.
Oh, right now, the next one you have on here is Chakra Imbalance reading. What exactly is that?
So your chakras are the energetic centers within your body, and these link to certain organs, certain feelings, and within your Akashic record, so your soul's energetic database, I can check the energy levels for those. So Reiki, for example, you can go and have Reiki and it can help to try to balance your chakras, see if they're open. A lot of other energy works with chakras, but my reading is really to show you what energy levels are flowing through your chakras and where you need to focus and take new action. So to get the right amount of energy flowing through your chakras, it's about taking action, doing. Energy healing's not always going to rebalance those. It helps, but it's all about action.
So what now when you do all this, and it sounds like there's a lot of steps, what is the manifesting blueprint?
So manifesting blueprint is, I don't get this from your soul's Akashic record. This is, I access a part of your soul's blueprint. And this is really how you're designed to experience life and to create your life. So for example, somebody could be very process focused. So if they are looking to get to a goal, it's all about the doing and the steps that they take. They're more important than the end goal. So they shouldn't have this big end vision in place, because that's not how they're designed to move forward. It's about what steps can they take to get in the direction that they want to go to. Other people, the other side of that, they need that big goal that they want. They need to be very specific with the time they want to achieve it by, what that looks like, how much money they want to make. Things like vision boards are very important for souls that are outcome focused. So there's 7 different measures and there's 2 sides. So it's like a sliding scale, and I see where people fit. It's also about certain souls that they're more internal. So their relationship with themselves is what drives them. It's how they learn. Whereas other people, it's about their interactions with other people in the world.
Can you explain to me your thoughts on the blueprint? If we're given a blueprint, why should that be changed? I mean, I understand. I understand the whole thing. It's about what you want and what path you want to take, but why change that blueprint if it was already given to us?
So your blueprint doesn't change. It's getting back to its original blueprint. That's the purpose of the soul realignment.
Okay, so we get it off track. We completely mess it up.
Okay. There's so many things that we damage our blueprint. So you live out your lifetime, you do all of this stuff, and you don't know if it's good or bad for you.
Right.
At the end of your lifetime, your soul has a vibration, and all of that, those choices, those thought patterns become a part of your soul, and that's carried to the next lifetime. So at the end of our lifetime, all of the stuff that's happened, we take it on, and it's part of our soul. That's why we carry it over to the next lifetime. The slate isn't wiped clean unless we do transformational work. We get to the root cause of these problems. We understand who we are.
Mm-hmm. Now, I might be getting off track a little bit here, but I just had another question come into my head. When we leave this soul and go on to our next life, what is I don't know how to explain what I'm trying to say, but what is the time? I mean, do you instantly leave this body vessel we have and get put into another one? Or
it can be hundreds of years. So I don't know if you've ever read about, so time only exists on Earth.
Right. I've always heard heaven has no time.
Yeah, there is no time. Time only exists on Earth. So when you start reading about it, everything exists at the same moment. So all of our past lives exist at the same moment, which can really blow your mind when you start reading about it.
Mm-hmm. It brings so many questions.
It does. And it hurts your head when you start reading. Because time is a thing. We've always known time. So, so also when we're healing, we are healing for future generations, but also we're healing our ancestors, because when we incarnate into a family, we inherit all their baggage, the good, the bad, the ugly. So when we heal ourselves, that goes back through the generations as well as forward to future generations.
Okay, so just for example, throwing this out there, my stepmom recently passed. So it may be years of learning for her before she goes into another life.
Yeah.
Okay.
It varies for souls. I have read a really good book, The Journey of Souls, which was a hypnotherapist, and he ended up working on the between life. So when he started regression therapy, a lot of clients would go to the in-between state, so when they're in the spiritual realm, and he just documented all that and about how it all works. So we even learn while we're up there. We're in different groups. We have a soul family, which we tend to incarnate with and swap our relationships. So my mother might be my daughter in another relationship, in another lifetime.
Right.
So there's so much that goes on up there. So we could go to incarnate in a different part of the universe. We could stay up there and be a guide to somebody. So lots of possibilities.
Mm-hmm.
So basically what's happening here is from the time we're born, we're transitioning, correct?
Yeah.
We're going to transition through life, and then when we die, we're going to transition into to be able to...
It's all about shifting through states of consciousness.
Okay,
so increasing so apparently we never lose our level of consciousness. So whatever we gain, whatever knowledge we learn in this lifetime, we take it with us. It doesn't stop, and we don't have to go back to square one. It's a constant evolving.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. And I was just curious if that was, because this whole thing kind of blows my mind. It's there's a lot to try to know here.
There is a lot to it. And there's even more that I haven't even got on my website yet. Some new readings that I've been doing, which kind of bridge psychology and spirituality. So I think it comes under my life situation reading. So you would come to me if life is full of loads of issues, you've got problems in relationships, something going on at work, something going on in the house, money issues. I would get all of the information about everything that's happening in your life, and then I would look at what energetic blocks are causing you to attract those situations. So we can take on beliefs, whether that's in this present lifetime or it's a past life belief. Situations can leave a stamp in our soul body. We can have negative unconscious patterns. So when we're children, we get learned behaviors from our parents. They also have an influence on us. Even when we're in the womb, we can pick these up. So so many things that can have a negative impact on us that we don't even realize.
So tell us about, what is your favorite reading to do? What do you like to help people with the most, and why?
I think soul realignment, because it has the biggest impact. I would always recommend someone to go to that first, because it's the biggest transformation you're going to get from a reading. And that would clear everything that is having an impact on you as you stand today. So, quite a big shift in negative energies from those readings. And I know a lot of people that their life has changed dramatically after. People that are no longer anxious, people that can, their sleeping pattern is restored. They start attracting the life that they want. Their relationships are better. Their life's more organized, less chaotic.
So we only went over just like a portion of your website, which is green. It's green light realignment, correct?
Yes, that's right.
Okay. And you can be reached on Facebook as well, correct?
I can, yes.
So like if anybody listening says, hey, this is something I'm really interested in, they can just reach out through Facebook or your website.
Just drop me a message, have a chat, and work out what's best.
All right, that sounds good. Well, Claire, it was fantastic talking with you, and yeah, and I can't wait to talk to you again on the show, because this is something that there's no way I can learn it.
So many questions.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of questions.
Reach out if you fancy a reading.
Okay, we will, and it's like, from what I understand, it is like you're not a psychic medium, but you're close to a psychic medium.
It is psychic ability. So when I first started doing the readings, so sometimes you might have to get a percentage. So when I first started, it was like, is it under 10? Is it under 20? Going through all the different things. Now things come to my mind straight away. That number's straight in my head. So it is a psychic skill that you develop. And as the training I've done some more training, and more of that is about being more in tune, really, and finding out from a customer and their higher self what's best for them, rather than just doing a reading. It's actually understanding them and their higher self, what's best for them at that moment in time. So using more of my psychic abilities to get the best result for the client.
Yeah, that's very interesting, and I thank you for trying to explain it the best you can.
There's a lot to explain.
Yeah, I'll say, because it's there's a lot. But people, if they go to your website, they can read on what it is that you do, and it gives you
ask me any questions.
It gives you a good understanding on your website of the things you do. Now, it doesn't get in depth. Obviously, it would be like a novel.
Essays.
All right.
But, well, there are some reviews on my website from some of my clients as well.
Oh, great!
Which and on I think they're linked to my Facebook page, so you can see them on there as well.
Where are you located at?
I am near London in the UK.
Okay, all right. Well, I thank you so much for having you here with us and explaining what it is that you do, because
thank you for inviting me.
I couldn't wait to talk to you, and I know we've had some trouble and had to put some stuff off, but I'm so glad that you're here and you explained everything that you could to the best that you could anyway, because most of it went over my head.
A lot of technical things.
All right, Claire. Well, thank you so much for being on, and we will talk to you soon.
You take care.
Thank you.
All right. Bye-bye
now.
You
too.
Bye-bye.
All right, everybody. That was Clare Hardy, and you can reach out to her at greenlightrealignment.com, or you can find her on Facebook, Greenlight Realignment. And if you have any questions, then feel free to reach out to her and get a little bit of help. All right. Thanks for listening, everybody. And a word of caution, Paranormally Podcast and its affiliates, their hosts, co-hosts, do not verify or check the validity of any person, team, or its members. Paranormally Podcast highly advises that you proceed with caution when contacting any person or team before allowing them into your home or business. And a legitimate paranormal research and investigation team will never charge you a fee to investigate your home. That's just how it is. And thank you for tuning in with us tonight, and I hope you enjoyed this episode. Please be sure to like, subscribe, and follow to receive notifications of new content from when Paranormally Podcast is made available. Thank you very much, everyone. Hope you have a good evening.